It's middle of October and it's getting to that time of year where we need to start preparing ready for later on in winter and early next year. So with that in mind, I'm going to be using some of these root trainers today, and we are going to look at 3 things that we can sow now that is going to help us over the next couple of months. I'm Tony O'Neill and this is Simplified Gardening. So as I said, we are going to be using these root trainers. Now I've had these ones for absolute eons. I've had them for a long time, and if you look after them, even though they seem quite flimsy, they will last. Now the reason that we want to use root trainers is because they have ridges in them that push them roots down, and they come out to the bottom and then they air prune, and this is a perfect way for planting things like legumes and what have you. Now the 3 seeds that we're going to be planting today are normal peas, and we're going to be planting these so that we can use them for pea tops throughout the winter. We're going to be using broad beans or fava beans, and all the seed you're seeing here I've collected from my garden, so it's literally collected, dried, and we're re-sowing it. And in here I have some sweet peas. Now with sweet peas, the idea behind sowing sweet peas now is that they can overwinter and you'll get a much earlier crop of flowers, if you like, that the sweet peas will give. Now I typically sow now for a small little sort of bouquet of flowers for the house and what have you, and again then in February. Now obviously when you're sowing them now, you have to look after them throughout winter, but these cell trays are ideal for that. So it's important when using these that you actually put them together. Now they come pre-folded, nice and flat, and you have a tray to go with them. And it's important that you fold these up and place them in the tray before filling them, because if you try filling them without it, they will just keep opening on you. And it's just a case of just snapping them together and doing that. So I will finish getting this done, and then we will look at sowing some of these and what else we're going to be doing today. And there we have it. So that's our root cell trays. Now we get 4, 8, 12, 16, 32 cells in effect with these, and they come out in little books. And the great thing is, as you open them, you've got a nice root system there for planting on. To fill them, it's just like any other cell tray, but because we've put them together first, they are much easier to fill. And for those of you who haven't got these, I bought mine from Oakland Gardens, and I've contacted Oakland on your behalf and asked them if they would do some sort of deal for you to get them, and they're going to do 2 sets of these trays for £15, and there'll be a link in the description below for you so that you're able to go and get some of these yourself. Like I said, I mean, I've got quite a lot of these, and as you can see, they're absolutely dirty now, but I've been using them for years. They're fantastic for things like this. And the great thing about cell trays is you're able to use them now for getting a good root system on your things like these beans and peas. And because we're sowing quite late in the year now, the plants will be ready to go out just as you need them for planting all your legumes and things next year. So they're fantastic. You're getting multiple uses a year out of them, and that was why I contacted Oaklands and asked them to put this deal on for you guys. And it is literally 2 sets for £15, so it's really good. So that's it, all filled out. And first off, we're going to sow some sweet peas. So just make your little up to your first knuckle is ideal for sweet peas. Now with these, if you were using a pot with sweet peas, I'd say put 3 seed in. But with these, they're going to be going over winter, and we want to allow them to have as much root run as possible. So I would be looking at adding just 2 seed per cell. And these will give you enough in order to be able to have a small display earlier, much earlier, probably a month or 2 earlier. And they will fill that gap in the time that the ones that you're planting in February will take to come and flower for you. So it's just a case of dropping your 2 seeds in. Who's sowing things now? Most of us have probably started to clear out our tunnels, and my next video is going to be showing that. In fact, my next video is going to be discussing this tunnel and how well it's done for me. And I know a lot of you have been asking because you've not had a video from me in a little while, but we've had lots of stuff going on. I had loads of burnout. I took on way too much this year as far as with the wedding and everything else. And what I'm going to do is make a video on all of that and talk to you about it. I might even do a live stream, I'm not sure yet. But there we are, that's it. So what we've done there now, we've just filled those holes. That's the sweet peas. We need to label that and give it a good watering, okay? Now, when filling these root trainers for things like broad or fava beans, well, we only want to fill them halfway, and it'll make our life a little easier. So just spread that compost around in the cell trays and try to only fill them up halfway. You're never going to get them all perfect, but what this will do is allow you to get that seed down in the hole. Because you want it down a fair depth, because these beans are large. And any that are not quite down far enough, just fill up a little bit more compost. 1 bean a time in these. The split, throw that in, it doesn't make a difference. A bean will right itself. I get loads of people asking me which way up should they be planting these. They will turn in the soil, so don't panic about them. And the broad beans, these are going to give us an early supply of beans because we're going to be planting them down here in the tunnel. And we will also sow some of these early in the year as well. But also, you can eat the broad bean tops as well. So that's another reason for sowing these now. And all we're doing, like I said, is 1 bean in each. I'd love to know what else you guys are sowing at the moment. So let me know in the description below, because a lot of people, they tend to say, right, okay, winter's coming, that's the end of my growing season. I've already got crops in all along this backyard you can't see, and you'll see that on the next video. So all I'm doing now is just packing down some compost over these, and there you have it. That's the broad beans next to be watered and labelled. So it's been a little while since I've made a video, and a few of you have got in touch and asked where I've been and saying that you've been missing the videos and stuff. And I've got to say, I've missed making them, but I really needed that break, guys. It's crazy, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been non-stop making video content, and it does take its toll. And with everything that went on this year with the wedding and things, I thought, you know what, I deserve a break. and I took one. It's probably not the best thing as far as YouTube are concerned, but for me to be ready for next year, because I have some huge plans for next year, guys, and we'll talk about that later on in another video. But for me to be ready for that, I needed to take that break, and I'm glad I did. It sort of renews my sort of vigor to carry on making content, and today's video is that very first video, and it's crazy in the way you sort of perceive things. It's been so long, and it's, for me, it's like riding a bike. You never sort of forget once you've started making them, and you know, I really like it, you know. So I know I've been jabbering on a lot today, but it's only because I wanted this video to be a little bit more laid back, with it being my first one back, but still give you something that's worthwhile. So peas, again, just a couple in each cell, and we will push these down a little bit before we fill it up. So I'd be interested in knowing what you guys are up to, and are you sowing? Are you going to be planning on growing over winter? While I've been away, I don't mind telling you, I haven't been totally lazy. I haven't just taken the last 3.5 months off and done nothing. I've been building my website. There is now over 350 full-blown articles on the website of all aspects, and the day before yesterday I did a complete rebrand of the website, and that will make it easier for you to find things. Now, when you go to the website, whatever you're looking for, you can literally, at the very top there's a search bar, and you can put in whatever you're looking for if you're looking for anything in specific. But I'd urge you all to get across this, simplifiedgardening.com. Go across, take a look, see what's going on. Incidentally, it will be where all the courses and the ebooks and everything else that I'm going to be producing over the next few months will be available from. So it is worth it. And like I said, that all forms part of upcoming plans. And there we have it, guys. There's the peas as well. So, like I said, these cell trays, these deep sort of root trainers, they are fantastic. Those of you who have my newsletter will have seen these and in the newsletter this week, or sorry, this month. And why I'm promoting them is because they are brilliant. They really look after the root system for you know, for these legumes and things like that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to give these a water. I'm going to put a label in each of these, and we're going to just leave them sit on these benches, and when they start coming, we'll put them out in the tunnel. And the idea of that is to get this tunnel growing something and using the space over winter for these sorts of crops. Growing doesn't have to stop in the winter, guys. Too many people around this time of year, they strip the garden and that's it for the rest of the year until March. Doesn't have to happen. You can grow all year round, especially if you've got a greenhouse or a tunnel like this. You just got to choose your varieties carefully. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope that you'll get across to the website and have a look. Don't forget, the discount code will be below for Oakland Gardens. 2 sets of these for £15, so bargain. It really is good. And I hope you're all enjoying the very first video back for a while. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.